Hey everybody, good evening. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. So I got a week-long strike from YouTube. So another spanking for me. I had just got my last strike off for 3 whole days. A whole 3 days, you guys. And then they hit me with another one. Hush, 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 truth tellers. Don't be telling the truth now. I still have the video, so for you who want to see it, let me know. I'll send you the link. But basically, I was talking about maritime stuff, law, sovereignty, and a little bit on, I guess, medical. But it wasn't a whole lot. So I'm like, okay, I got another strike. I appealed it. It was declined and denied. I was very shocked. Okay. I tried again. It was still a no-go. And I'm like, okay, well, who monitors this? Like, who does YouTube hire to do their work? Okay, so I do a bunch of research, talk to some people that work there, some other stuff. Okay, so they outsource 100% of their work, it seems. Maybe not 100%. I take that part back. A large majority of it, they are outsourcing to other countries. That's for one. I'm like, okay. So what type of qualifications do you have to have? So I asked around. I even looked at their application to see, hey, if I apply for this job as a moderator for YouTube, I used to be a moderator, but on a lower level. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, what are the requirements? And it said, we prefer a bachelor's degree, but as long as you have experience. And I'm thinking, what type of experience? Customer service, speaking with people. What does this mean? Like, what specialties do you have to have? And it said you have to be able to have work in a fast-paced environment, be a quick learner. I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, okay, great. So let me look some more into the people that work for the company. And I find out that a lot of these people are not trained in certain things. Some people are only trained in specialty areas and stuff. So like, okay. So it doesn't seem like the application is too hard. It seems pretty basic. All right, so it doesn't look like I couldn't apply, or someone fairly even new, and you just got to have a high tolerance for being able to see nasty shit. Yeah, if you're weak stomach, no, I couldn't do it. But I'd be a good moderator, YouTube. But I know I'm a truth speaker, so it's like, ooh, if we can't put a muzzle on the... I'm not a bitch, I'm not a dog. Some might think I'm a god, though. But I'm not that either, but I do house the Holy Spirit. Hey. So I'm like, okay, where was the misinformation? Because the information I provided, well, let me start with, I've talked about it before. When I was in high school is when I started in the medical field. That's when I started. I was in a pilot program to where every class I took throughout the day was directed specifically towards the medical field. Specific, every class. And then the other half of the day, I got out of high school. Well, all the high school kids got to go to lunch. I got to go to the hospital and do my internship. Yeah. So where did my information come from? Well, I've been studying in the medical for little while. So maybe. Also, some of the people who trained in where the same laboratories as me would be Billy Goat Gates. He's been there, and some other people, and Fauci, and probably the rest of them. So my teacher was one of the teachers in the at Lawrence Livermore Lab, and he took us on a lot of trips there to some of the underground facilities of the experiments and other types of things, and biomedics and nuclear science and a lot of other stuff. So I'm like, okay. So then I also studied independently from that Where does my information come from? I could show you the textbooks. I could show you the law books where I get the legal information. Black's Law, you rock. I could show them the medical side from the Harvard books down to the Pages, as well as Yale and a bunch of other hospitals. Plus, my personal stuff that I. So I think my knowledge may be pretty decent if I could provide you with the page, the facts, the documents, other people who are trained to say, yeah, that's the truth. But I understand having to be careful because a lot of people on YouTube just be jawsing. They're just talking, but they can't back it up. See, I try not to talk on things I can't back up. If I can't prove to you that I know this, well, how did you know this? Where did you get this information? Well, here's the books. Not just that, here's the ancestors. Not just that, here's the homeopathic way to do it. There's a lot to it, just like I could read the stars in the sky, which also will show you medical alignment of things. But that's deep hermetics and astrotheology, and I love astrotheology and all that, but that's another subject. Although it's the same, it's a bit different. So I'm a little frustrated that I can't speak on things that I used to work and get paid for, but I do understand YouTube's game procedure and corporate bindings and ties and soul ties and stuff. Yes. So speaking sovereignty and freedom is not on the top of the list for them. So anyway, what I am doing is going to be transferring to Patreon. I started my Patreon recently. I haven't given out the link yet. I'm about to start putting content on it, and I am going to start speaking a little more in detail about stuff I know versus having to sugarcoat stuff on YouTube. So I hope to see you over there. I really do, because I like YouTube for the basics. It's if you're, lukewarm. But if you really want to get to the meat and potatoes, unfortunately, we have to go to more private sites. So I'll keep you updated. I'm back, you guys. I hope to be here a while. Love you guys. You're awesome.